number do you think is realistic in the future? And I don't know whether people should never try to do a target and a time for when you hit the target, because you can't get both right. But what you think it's worth $1 million a coin someday, Michael?
The big idea is every currency in the world collapses into the U.S. dollar stable coin, and the U.S. dollar is the universal medium of exchange for the world. And people seeking a long-dated store of value asset, a synthetic asset, they start to demonetize that second investment property, and they demonetize gold, and they demonetize an equity index. So what do I expect? I expect that Bitcoin, if it doubles every year at the end of the decade, it will flip gold, and then it'll flip monetary indexes, a little bit of bonds, a little bit of real estate, a little bit of equity, and emerges as a $100 trillion asset class. So 100x where it is right now. And when we get there, it'll be 5 to 7% of the worldwide economy. The US dollar will probably replace 150 currencies. Maybe there'll only be 2 or 3 left. There might be the euro, the CNY, the dollar. Everything else is probably going to disappear. And then Bitcoin will be the world's monetary index. If you simply want to keep your money and you don't want to express a credit sentiment or an equity sentiment or some property or real estate sentiment.
And what if a country decides, either China, I don't know how China is going to react to that scenario, or even the United States? Is it unstoppable, or getting to that point you just described, does it depend on what happens with very powerful central governments?
I think Bitcoin is unstoppable as digital property. I think what you're going to see is 3 classes of countries. The communist countries that don't give you property rights won't, like North Korea or Cuba, won't let you own anything. They'll probably ban it. The countries that have weak currencies will have capital controls. They will let you own it, but they don't want you to exchange it or trade it. It's not illegal to own Bitcoin in China. They just don't want you moving billions of dollars out of their economy. You see a collapse of currencies like Argentina, the peso is 200 to 1. In Turkey, you see the lira is 11. It used to be 1.5 15 years ago. So the weak currencies will have capital controls. They'll let you own it as property. And of course, in the Western nations where they have strong currencies in the US dollar, of course, it's going to be deemed property. You'll pay capital gains tax on it when you sell it. And otherwise, it's pretty clear it crossed the chasm. It's universally acknowledged as common digital property, and it's the only crypto asset that has that standing. That's what makes it the institutional safe haven asset.